Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new here. My name is Chinima and in today's video I'm going to be sharing some notes that I took from the book of James. As I was studying it, as you know, this is how I do my Bible study. I take down notes, I ask myself ways that I can practically apply the Bible to my life today. So as I was studying the book of James, this is verse 19 that says, "Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry." So I asked myself, because I noticed that there's some conversations that I'm listening better. What did I do there? There are some that are like, no, what did I not do? So how can I become a better listener was what I asked myself when I read this verse. Or how have I been like a better listener in certain areas? So I wrote down, number one thing that I wrote is pay attention when others are speaking or when you're having a conversation. Pay attention, be present. People know when you're not listening. People know. Even my toddler knows when you're not listening to him. Yes, that 2-year-old, he knows. And so people know when you're present or when you're like, when they're saying A, you're saying B. No, you have to be present, not just physically, but like your expression, everything, interact, okay, and make sure that you are paying attention. Okay, so the next thing that I wrote down is listen to understand, not to respond. Well, I think, okay, I'm not shedding on my gender, okay? But I think women do this a lot. At least, okay, yeah. I think women do this a lot. They listen to respond, like, because we think we already know what the other person is gonna say. I did this a lot when like we first got married, and sometimes I struggle with this as well. But I have to remind myself that even if I might know what the other person is saying, I still need to pay attention. I still need to listen. I still need to like allow them to finish before I come in and give my opinion, okay? So you have to listen to understand. And when I'm not listening to understand, I am not listening at all. Because I'm gonna say what is in my head and not even what they're saying. Or I'm gonna think that I know where this conversation is going, let me end it for you. No. And when you allow people to speak, when you give people full attention, it's respectful, you know. It's very polite to allow people to, say their mind regardless of what whether you know where that conversation is going or not, okay? Listen to understand and not to respond. Okay? Okay. And this goes back to the next point, which is validate other people's point of view. Now, they said what they want to say, and it's not what like you it's not your point of view, it's not the same. Validate that. What does that even look like? It may be something like, I see where you're coming from, but this is also how I will look at it. Don't trash people's opinion. No. Don't trash people's point of view. Listen when they speak and it's different from your point, because your point of view is not even, it's not the ultimate point of view. You have to make sure, because I know how I feel when other people validate my opinion and don't like trash it like it was invalid. Like that shouldn't even be said. But when you validate other people's point of view, it allows room for everybody to air their opinion, and we all jolly along, okay? So validate their opinion, and that can be like, I see where you're coming from. This is something that I'm training myself to do. I see where you're coming from. This is also how I will look at it, okay? And the next thing that I wrote, ask question when you need clarity. Ask. I think sometimes we're tricked to think that when you ask questions, it means that you're not listening. But how many of you remember, like, even in college, when you're having presentation and people ask you questions, you're like, yes, people were listening. But when people don't ask you questions, you start to question that, okay, question everywhere. But when people ask, you get what I mean? When people ask you questions, like after your presentation, it kind of rings the bell to you that, okay, they were actually paying attention. But when they don't ask you, you're like, were they even listening? So ask questions, ask for clarity. Don't just nod your head and agree, keep moving on. Like, you all know, if that has been done to you before, you know how it feels. I don't like that when people do it. So this is one thing that I'm trying to practice. If I don't hear, if I don't, it didn't understand you, I'm gonna ask you, please, what did you mean? Explain again. Can you repeat? Because I wasn't either listening, paying attention, or I didn't understand. So ask question, ask for clarity. That will make you a better listener when you ask for clarity. that will make you a better listener, because you're listening, you're paying attention, you don't understand something and you point to it. It's not the other way around. And I know sometimes people are not paying attention, they're like, what did you say? That's not what I mean. Okay. The last thing that I wrote down is be humble. Okay. I don't even know how to explain this one, but just be humble. Like, it's as simple as that. Be humble. Be humble. Because I think it's our lack of humility that makes us think that, oh, I can finish that sentence for that person. I think it's our ego. I think it's our pride that makes us feel like, I know what they want to say. I read their mind already. I'm going to finish it for them. No. Even if you know what they're going to say, even if you read their mind accurately, yes, just allow them to finish, and that's an act of humility. You're respecting the other person, because how many of you want to be caught up when you're talking? How many of you want to somebody to shut you out and shove the opinion in front of you and finish the sentence for you? This is, I even know, like my nephew, when he was little, and the siblings, they were older would try to complete sentences for him, or like what he was saying, he's gonna be like, don't speak for me. Like, even at that age, he understood that that's so disrespectful. So be humble. Just make sure that you're respecting people in the middle of a conversation. Humility is going to bring you to like a place where you're like, okay, I'm gonna allow this person to speak because their opinion matters, and I'm going to listen because they're taking the time to have a conversation with me. Okay, I'm not just gonna be here distracted with every other thing, or like while they're talking, I'm like calculating what I'm going to say. No, just be present, validate their opinion, listen to understand, not to respond, ask questions for clarity, and be humble. This one doesn't even have an explanation, but you get it. You get it. Okay, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much if you have watched at this point. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe, like, and leave me a comment in the comment section. What are some things that you're doing? Okay, share with us. We're here to learn together. Okay, as always, thank you so much for supporting this channel. Until my next video, please stay blessed. Love you all. Bye.